It's so weird. Sometimes I feel like I'm not any authority to talk about Chicago because I don't live there. But based off of some of the history that I've read, and even some of the commentary and documentaries that I've seen about Chicago from the black side, I'm gonna say something. That whole thing, it's a trip how they had that bait car um, with those shoes in it. Yeah, I've seen the TV show. I know what they're doing. But why would you do that in a place that is struggling in a lot of ways and it's very, what people might call at risk? I know one of the reasons why they do that, and I don't care what anyone says, it's to get those stats up. As that one cricket cop in Florida um, basically spilled the beans about, even though they locked his behind up. I wonder how long he's going to get, but that's another story. They're all about these stats, man. They perpetuate these stats. You not only had that, but also a bunch of shootings. Um, that last weekend. And to be honest, I this is my opinion, and some people could disagree with it all they want. I don't think that was all gangs. I'm sorry, I just don't. Based off of the history and just things that have happened there, that's definitely not all gangs. I think that was a straight up effort by CPD, if you know what I mean. Like I don't put it past them, especially after the things that they've done. You know, people might think that this is a long time ago, but things in the past and tactics in the past still exist to this day. And I don't trust just news outlets. I mean, I think if I could remember correctly, that was also the same place where they killed this innocent dude. Um, I think he had just gotten married, and the cops actually shot him. It was either, I think it was a bachelor party or something like that. But let me give you some of the reasons why I don't put it past these police to do things like that. One of the reasons that I don't particularly trust what the news media says about police in Chicago or Chicago as a whole, because you had devils like John Burge pretty much like murdering and torturing black men and taking them to these unmarked police stations and throwing them in these private jails and doing God knows what to them. I think there was this one thing where he would be slamming a telephone or something like that on them. I've heard of it, or shocking them to death. Just a bunch of crazy torture type stuff where he'd had a lot of, you know, black men specifically beat, tortured, and all that stuff. And I heard even people had even died under his watch. He supposedly went to jail, but I'll tell you this, he didn't get much of a time in there. You know, these devils never get their justice due. They need to. Another reason that I don't trust the police's word in Chicago on a lot of things is because of what happened with Fred Hampton. You guys, no one has ever been brought up on charges for killing Fred Hampton. We all know now that it was an FBI COINTELPRO thing, but the Chicago PD had a lot to do with that too. They didn't like Fred Hampton. They killed him in cold blood. I don't care about money given out to his wife. Where's the people that actually did the shooting? What happened to the cops that killed him? Nothing. These are the same police, I'm sure, through the FBI, that basically wrote a bunch of bogus letters trying to pit the Black Panthers against the GDs. The same police that also hemmed up Bobby Gore, who was a conservative vice lord, on nothing. Basically, Bobby Gore was one of the gang members, that not only reformed himself, but had a lot of reform in Chicago during that time. He set a lot of people straight, and he he and the conservative vice lords made businesses, and they were trying to go legit, with a lot of their stuff. But of course, the COINTELPRO with the Chicago PD had to do something to basically thwart that. And they locked Bobby Gore up on some bogus charges. They ended up releasing him, but by the time they released him, which was years later, the whole gang thing not only came back, but got worse. Yeah, I don't trust that all those shootings were just gang members. CPD's got their hands dirty. If I'm seeing this as an outsider, I'm sure other people in Chicago know even more than I do. One of the people that I think is great to listen to, aside from Harvey, Superboy, now known as Your World, is this lady by the name of Nyla. I forgot her last name. Man, how could I forget this sister's last name? But I think you guys should check her out. Yes, I got her name. Her name was Nyla Says. And she actually did a more thorough take on Chicago. I mean, she has every right to. She's from there and she knows more. But I'm just giving you my voice in the little that I know and the reasons why I don't rule out the possibility of these police officers doing this too. I'm not denying that there is no situation in Chicago, but at the same time, I think certain people are over-exaggerating Chicago. But then again, you guys can give me your views. I don't know. I like Nyla's video. She actually said something that was interesting. She said that there's states even more violent than Chicago, but yet people put that on Chicago. Anyways, I'm just going to say Blue Lies Murder. I know what this flag thing says, but I'm saying Blue Lies because they're lying a lot of times, some of these law enforcement cats, about the situations and their parts in it. When you hear that guns are left out, just in a box, and dude, who else is doing that? It's happened here in LA. That's just, that's a freaking effort by someone more powerful than the people that live there in poverty. Anyways, I'd like to know what you guys think. Like, comment, and subscribe or whatever. Please, have a nice day.